February 2013, the California State Teachers Retirement System, CalSTRS, submitted to the Legislature a report suggesting options for addressing the system's large unfunded liabilities. Those are the costs to provide benefits that have already been earned by California's current and past teachers and administrators in schools. Over the next few minutes, Ryan Miller, an analyst at the LAO, will discuss our office's perspectives on this report and how to address CalSTRS' long-term funding needs.
The CalSTRS unfunded liability is perhaps California's most significant long-term fiscal challenge. The CalSTRS independent actuary estimated that as of June 2012, the defined benefit program had an unfunded liability of about $70 billion. This is the amount needed to pay today for benefits that were earned in the past. The CalSTRS independent actuary also estimated that absent additional contributions, the defined benefit program would deplete its assets by the year 2044. In its report to the Legislature, CalSTRS identified full funding in 30 years as the definitive approach to addressing CalSTRS' long-term funding needs. In addition, CalSTRS' actuary stated that the minimum time frame for such a plan should be 30 years. Full funding within 30 years would require additional contributions to the CalSTRS system of about $4.5 billion beginning in 2014-15 and growing thereafter. The CalSTRS unfunded liability is the largest part of California's retirement obligations and is among the state's largest liabilities overall, along with general obligation bond debt. In addition, the CalSTRS liability is about double the governor's so-called wall of debt, a collection of budgetary obligations that the state has incurred in recent years to mitigate its significant budget problems. The CalSTRS unfunded liability grows faster than other debts. While the state pays interest on its infrastructure bonds, generally between about 4% and 6%, the amount of bond debt outstanding actually shrinks over time because the state makes regularly scheduled payments on these debts. Budgetary obligations, such as special fund loans and mandate reimbursements, are either fixed or grow at a very slow rate over time. In contrast, each year that the state forgoes additional contributions to this CalSTRS system, the state forgoes investment returns on those contributions. The unfunded liability, therefore, grows at a rate similar to the CalSTRS assumed rate of investment return, currently 7.5% per year. Because investment returns compound over time, the longer we wait to increase contributions to CalSTRS, the more costly it will be generally to erase the unfunded liability. While waiting would mean more resources available for programmatic spending or taxpayer relief in the near term, it will also mean significantly fewer resources available for these purposes in the longer term. Waiting would also minimize the amount of assets available in the program in the meantime, which would make the system much more vulnerable to declines in the stock market and increase the risk that the fund would deplete its assets. If this were to happen, the state would have to fund pension benefits on a pay-as-you-go basis, a much more costly method of funding pension benefits. We therefore recommend that the Legislature adopt a plan that aims to fully fund the CalSTRS system within about 30 years. In the November 2012 Fiscal Outlook, we forecast that the state may realize surpluses in the coming years. If these surpluses materialize, they could help the state accommodate additional contributions to the CalSTRS system while minimizing the pain to other areas of the budget. Even if these surpluses materialize, however, there will be no way to avoid these contributions, complicating the budgetary situation in the next economic downturn, when the Legislature will be faced with difficult choices: reducing education spending, reducing spending in the other parts of the budget, or increasing revenues more than otherwise would be the case.